Today we are going to discuss vaping and the effects of vaping in middle school, and we are also going to discuss the effects of vaping with the current COVID-19 pandemic. So if you would please just sit back and watch the video on your Chromebook and follow along. First thing I would like for you guys to do is to open up a Google Doc, and then you are going to share it to your teacher. What I would like for you to do, as you can see the question here, many people claim that vaping is not dangerous like smoking cigarettes. So what are your thoughts on this? Please open the Google Doc and share your response, and then share it to your teacher and upload to ManageBac. And you are going to have 3 minutes to do this, beginning now. And if you need more than 3 minutes, please pause the video. Okay, at this time, if you have not finished the Google Doc bell ringer, please go ahead and wrap that up. And please do not forget to upload it to ManageBac, and you can feel free to wait until the end of this presentation to upload it there. All right, so some of you may have heard of vaping, some of you may have not. So we're going to kind of take this as an introductory lesson to explain what this is. The term vaping is used to describe an e-cigarette. So that E in e-cigarette just stands for electronic. So there were e-cigarettes that started out at first that looked just like a cigarette, but it had an electronic component to it. But now with vaping, e-cigarettes take all shapes, forms, and fashions. So this picture here shows what some of the vapes look like. And the CDC, or the Centers for Disease Control, they are going to define an e-cigarette as a battery-powered device that delivers nicotine and other flavors to the user in the form of an aerosol. So any type of flavoring that is added to it, that's going to attract many middle school students just because there's flavors and it tastes better than a normal traditional cigarette. So we're going to talk about those marketing strategies today and those risks to you. So here are some stats. E-cigarettes are the most commonly used tobacco product amongst U.S. middle school and high school students. In 2018, the Centers for Disease Control and the FDA, they revealed a study that showed us that more than 3.6 million youth, including 1 in 5 high school students and 1 in 20 middle school students, were an e-cigarette user in the past month. And in 2016, approximately 1/3 of middle and high school students reported that they had used an e-cigarette with marijuana in the device. So that obviously presents a lot of issues. That is an illegal drug. And also in 2016, about 8 in 10 middle school and high school students, that's more than 20 million, said that they had seen an e-cigarette advertisement. So again, when I'm using the term e-cigarette, I'm talking about vaping. So the advertisements, the tobacco companies are using these to try to market to young middle school and high school students because the earlier in life that you get addicted to nicotine, the increased likelihood that you are going to become dependent on their product. So you may think, why do they want me to become addicted? Well, it's all about money. So they're going to put these enhanced flavors and make the vapes look cool, make them look like flash drives and things of that nature, so that you will want to use them and then you'll get hooked on the nicotine, and the tobacco companies hope that you'll be a lifelong user. All right, so what is in an e-cigarette? So the Centers for Disease Control tells us that vaping creates a harmful aerosol that the user breathes in. Some of those compounds that are found in it are cancer-causing chemicals, heavy metals like nickel, tin, and lead. A joule contains almost 20 times as much nicotine as one cigarette. So that's a highly alarming statistic right there. 20 times as much nicotine. So you're going to become addicted way quicker. It also contains very, very small ultrafine particles that are going to be inhaled deep into your lungs. All right, and then the flavorings that they're putting into these vapes, those are also, we're learning that they are very dangerous chemicals that are being linked to certain types of diseases such as lung disease. All right, so here was just a little graphic from the CDC of what is in the vape. So these things that we just talked about that you would be inhaling in. All right, and some of the different types of vapes that you're going to see here. So the Juul over here on the left, it's a brand of e-cigarettes and it's shaped like a flash drive. So lots of times teachers don't even know that this is what the students are using. And then here's one of the first released e-cigarettes. It just looks like a normal cigarette, but it does have the battery component. All right, the vape pens, you can see these all across town anywhere you go. They can be infused with flavors, and that's why a lot of people like these. It makes them taste better. And then these are called a vape mod. So they're larger and they're rechargeable. So it's a high amount of nicotine, which hijacks the brain's reward system. So people get an increased buzz from using this type of device here. All right, so with nicotine, the way that it works, when you inhale nicotine, it's quickly absorbed through the blood vessels that are lining your lungs. All right, the step 2, it reaches your brain in just about 10 seconds. So the nicotine particles, they then fit like a lock is going to fit into a key, into a type of acetylcholine receptor located on the neurons throughout your brain. So any type of drug that anyone chooses to use, there are these receptors in our brain that the drug is going to attach to, and it's going to release these extra chemicals, these feel-good chemicals. So that leads us to step 3. When the nicotine binds to that receptor, just like a lock fitting into a key, it's going to send a signal to your brain, to release dopamine, and that creates a feel-good feeling. So when people are using vapes and Juuls, they are going to have a little buzz or a little high that's going to make them feel good. So that explains why people want to use it, along with it tasting good. Let's talk about the risks. So when you decide to vape, nicotine intake is consumed at high levels in the body. So here are the risks with nicotine. It can slow down the brain development in kids and teens and affect your memory, concentration, learning, self-control, attention, and mood. And your brain continues to develop until the age of 25 years old. So if you're using this starting at age 11, 12, 13, and you use this for the next 10 years, all of that time your brain is still developing, and you're going to change the way that your brain develops, and these are going to have lifelong impacts on you. So these are facts coming from Yale and Centers for Disease Control. And this is also going to increase the risk of other types of addiction, including traditional cigarettes, alcohol, and drugs such as marijuana, since so many people put marijuana in the Juuls as well. A friend may ask you if you wanted to use their Juul or their vape pen, and you may not even know that they have put marijuana in it. So these are things we need to be very careful of, and to just stay away from using vapes altogether. All right, so lung injuries associated with vaping. So as of October 29, 2019, we had 1,888 cases of e-cigarette related lung injuries. There were 37 deaths confirmed in 24 states. And the CDC continues to update the outbreak every Thursday. So we are going to take a look here what has happened over the past year with these injuries. So vaping is relatively new. It is not like smoking cigarettes, all right? So cigarettes, we've had research done over the past 40 and 50 years. So with vaping being new, there's still a lot of unknowns. So that's why it's important to stay up to date with the facts. So here, you can go to this website from the CDC, and this will be linked for you in ManageBac, and it will tell you the amount of deaths and hospitalizations. So February 18th, there were 2,807 cases reported to the CDC from all 50 states about e-cigarettes and deaths. So if you want to go and scroll through this and read some of the most updated information, I would encourage you to do that. It has a lot of statistics and information. It even breaks it down by state. You can see Tennessee here. So this is going to be linked for you in ManageBac if you're curious and would like to see more information. All right, so we've been talking about vaping and the effects of vaping on your lungs. So with the coronavirus pandemic going on, and we know that that is an infection of the lungs that has taken hundreds of thousands of lives, I wanted to compare and contrast vaping and COVID and just look at the association here. So young people, such as middle and high school students who have used e-cigarettes or vapes, they have found that they are 5 times more likely to be diagnosed with COVID-19. So when you're inhaling all these chemicals into your lungs, you are increasing your risk of also contracting the COVID virus. And young people who have ever used an e-cigarette and also a traditional conventional cigarette, they're 7 times more likely to be diagnosed with COVID-19. So, and I put the graphic here from the CDC, and they pulled this from the Journal of Adolescent Health. And this will also be linked in ManageBac if you want to read more about this. All right, so if you unfortunately have already used vapes, or you are addicted, or maybe you know someone in your family who is, wanted to discuss here some of the things you could do to break that addiction. So one main thing to do is set a quit date, right? Just like you would set a date for a goal you're trying to reach, we would set a quit date. So choose something that's a week or 2 away. You know, if you're going to apply this to a family member who's been smoking for a long time, you know, you may have to set it a month or 2 out. But if you've just been vaping for a short period of time, choose something that's a week or 2 away, and we'll work through strategies to reach that goal. You can reach out to one of your teachers, and they can help you have the resources you need to learn how to quit. So you will need to be prepared for challenges. It's going to be hard to give up anything, just like sugar or candy or things that we're trying to break away from. It will be difficult, so just be prepared for that. So know things in your life that, or be aware of things in your life that give you triggers Triggers can be stressful situations, it can be certain people, it can be sad or anxious feelings, and these things will cause people to want to smoke or vape. So just be aware of those and think of other strategies that you can use instead of going for a vape pen. You know, you can exercise, you can go for a walk. Lots of people chew gum. There's several things that you can do to help you fight off the urges. So you'll want to develop these strategies to help you fight the cravings and withdrawals. And I do highly recommend exercise as a great alternative. All right, some other things that you can do: create a better environment. So oftentimes the people that we spend the most time with have a great impact on us and our decisions. So avoid friends that you know are going to be smoking. If this is your parent you're trying to help, ask them to avoid coworkers that they know would be smoking. And if you can't avoid these people, maybe you live with these people, maybe it's a sibling. Learn how to create a strategy that's going to help you say no, that's going to help you build those resiliency skills. Tell your friends or family that you do trust that you're needing their help and their support. And that may seem like a hard thing to do. If you don't feel that you have anyone you can talk to about it, you can talk to a teacher, you can talk to a coach. There are tons of resources online. There are little apps that you can chat to tobacco cessation counselors on that will help you quit. So you need that support. Find someone that can help you. And if you want to reach out to a professional so that you can, stay anonymous and not tell a family member, there are several places you can go. The place I recommend is going to be a government website. So you would go to this website and it has a live chat agent and a phone hotline for you to call. And there's a lot of information here for anyone trying to quit that can be very helpful. So there's numbers and there's an app, and you can even text or sign up online. Here in this paragraph, it gives you all the information that you need. And then here are the sources of where I gained this information today. So if you would like to read more about this presentation is going to be found in ManageBac. And I would encourage you to read more from the COVID article. And when you are done, please be sure that you uploaded your bell ringer, the Google Doc notes, to ManageBac for your teacher. And then the next thing that you will find in ManageBac, you are going to see this Google Doc, this one here. And you are going to have a link to make your own copy. And so what you're going to do, mark whether you think the statement is true or false. So we just went over a brief little introduction of vaping, and now based on what you know, I want you to mark true or false on one of these boxes. You can put a check mark, you can just write, check, anything you want to do to indicate which one you're choosing. If you want to put a check mark in, you can click this little bullet point here. If you click on the bullet and right click it, you can change it to a check mark. All right, so you will work your way through this and on the left-hand side, and then post research. It's asking you, mark whether the statement is true or false, record at least one fact from your research that supports your answer. So what you will want to do here, after you have put true or false, I want you to research. You can use any of the documents that I gave you. If your supporting evidence is the class presentation, you can just put the Google presentation in the box, all right, if you found out that it was true or false. Anything you use online or Google online, you can put the links here in this box. Okay, so for instance, if I found the information from a CDC website, I would copy the link at the top, Control-C, and then I would paste the link here. All right, so that would be my supporting evidence. Okay, and once you finish this, what I would like for you to do is turn this in on ManageBac as well. So you will have two documents that you're going to upload to ManageBac. It is this worksheet, Get the Facts About Vaping, and it is also the Google Doc from the beginning, the bell ringer question here. So please share those with your teacher and upload them to ManageBac, and that will complete your lesson for today. Thank you very much.